Hello game trollers and welcome to a new video, and two little things I want to say. First off, I think this is the first video I'm recording of 2020, so hey. And two, I am very sick. Well, not very sick, but I'm pretty sick right now. So if you hear me doing that, or like coughing or anything like that, or like if I sound really nasally, that's why. But anyways, last night, technically this morning, but like it came out last night, but nobody could see it because it was on BBC America's, like on the TV channel. It wasn't actually on the internet. We had a new trailer for Series 12. It's a coming soon trailer. It's sort of like a mid-series trailer, sort of to hint at what's to come and stuff like that. Because we've already got like 3 stories out of this series. Now we got, if the last episode is a 2-parter, 6 minus 3 is, 9 minus 3 is 6, so we got 6 more stories to go, and it was a very interesting trailer. Like, a lot of stuff in it I saw was like, yo, this is good right here, this is good quality stuff right here, very interesting stuff. So, I don't think I'll go in order, because that, I don't know. Maybe I will. But yeah, first off, I want to talk about probably not necessarily the least interesting, but the stuff I have the least to say about is, of course, Fugitive of the Judoon. We saw a few shots of that episode in this little trailer here, quite a few shots, which is, kind of, I guess, to be expected, because the Judoon have kind of been like the main like focus of a lot of the marketing for this series. Like, they were the first things to be announced about the series. Like, after the only thing we knew about it was that it was coming in 2020. We literally, and like, it was gonna have the same cast. That's literally all we knew about it going in. And that was like one of the first, and that was like, after that was the Judoon being announced was like the first bit of marketing we got for the series. And ever since then, I think they've been in every single trailer. So they were in the actual first trailer that came out on Doctor Who Day, and then we had we had them in the release date trailer, and then now they're in this trailer. So they've been in basically every single trailer. And yeah, just some shots of them walking around, some of them in their ship. There's a really interesting shot. Maybe not. I'll get it on screen. I was like 13. They were like, I'm guessing this is like the church or cathedral that they were filming in, because like there was a bit like where they completely locked off this like cathedral area and like was filming vans and stuff around it. So they were filming a portion of the episode in this cathedral. I think we saw a bit of that in the trailer where it was like 13. She was like with someone. I can't tell. I think it was a female character. You can't tell anything. So it's like, I think they had long hair. So it could have been Ruth, who's the one of the guest cast for Fugitive, or it could have been Yaz. I don't really know. It was like them surrounded by some Judoon and like this like, I don't even know. So that was an interesting shot. Definitely, make the Judoon seem a little bit more intimidating and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just really them stomping around their ship and like Gloucester and stuff like that. So not really much to say. Definitely seems like, what's the word for it? Definitely seems like one of the more pulpy episodes of this series, where it's not really much going on. It's just kind of a bit of fluff, maybe not too much interesting story stuff, but who knows. But yeah, so besides that, we got quite a few things in this little trailer here. Sort of there were these shots, right, of the TARDIS, very beautiful shots. Oh god, where it was like a special new lighting where it almost kind of looked like the lighting, the sort of the color scheme of the time vortex. If you kind of look, it was like a very blue and like purple, which was interesting. And of course, we had this new character, this new figure. I think people say the actor's name is Ian Gilder. I don't really know. And apparently from like, I think one of the very first shots, if I can find it, is like him phasing into the TARDIS, and it's like this black smoke, So immediately everybody's like, Black Guardian. And if it is the Black Guardian, I mean, that would be something, wouldn't it? Like, definitely, we're definitely going deep here. I'm not sure why the Black Guardian would even come up. That seems like it would just kind of come out of nowhere. I'm assuming that would be, like, for the finale, right? That definitely seems like something that would be, like, finale episode, like the Black Guardian and stuff. Would it have anything to do with, like, the Timeless Child arc? I mean, I feel like out of any episode, I feel like that would be that if out of any episode of any character, like, that would be a big sort of thing for, like, the whole Timeless Child Gallifrey stuff. If you were gonna do that, besides, like, you know, the Master, but they've kind of already used the Master. I don't really think he's probably gonna show up. Maybe like a cameo, maybe sort of like in a more protagonistic role where he's actually kind of like on the same side as the Doctor, or at least not like an antagonist, right? And it would be like them against the Black Guardian, because like maybe he knows something about the, I don't know. It couldn't maybe not be the Black Guardian, but like dude came in to the TARDIS with black smoke. I mean, and he's an old dude, so very old, intimidating dude. So like, you know, out of anything, that was definitely, yeah. But yeah, so I'm interested to see what that is. And another sort of classic Who thing that people are pointing out, there's this shot of there's this really neat looking spaceship. I can't seem to find the shot here, but there's this very neat looking shot of like the spaceship. Hang on. Yeah, okay. There's this very interesting shot. It's like in space, there's like an asteroid field of some sort, and this like spaceship is kind of like, I think the best way to describe it is kind of shaped like the what was it called, the Ghost from Destiny, where it was like this little like diamond, well, not diamond, but like cube sort of shape. And it's like, it's very interesting. It's like segmented in little places, and it's like interested, like lighting and stuff. I've seen a few people say, right, that's Shada, which I haven't seen Shada, so I wouldn't really know. All I know about the story is that it's some kind of like Time Lord prison of some description. That's kind of what I figured. So if it is that, that's also like an interesting way to like get into the Timeless Child stuff. And if it is that, then I'm assuming maybe it will be like in the finale. It's also pretty interesting because I don't think we've had a single like episode that's not been like fully set on an alien planet. Like, it's always mostly been like, most of the action's been on Earth. Sure, we were on Gallifrey in part 2 of Spyfall. We were on Gallifrey for like a little bit, but we haven't really had a full-on like alien episode yet. So I, at the very least, I'm excited for that, just for that reason. But also, if it is like Shada, then oh boy. And of course, there were shots, some interior shots of this very interesting place we saw in the I think it was the first Doctor Who Day trailer. It had like this interior shot of like this very blue and sort of purple, sort of magenta type location. It was very pretty. Like, I really liked how it looked, but from what I can gather, maybe it's the interior of like this spaceship, space station, wherever this is, which I'm interested in. In terms of dialogue, we had some dialogue stuff here. There's a bit of 13 saying, sometimes even I can't win, which is definitely going to be an interesting character moment. I wonder what episode it's going to fall into. Like, from the lighting, from the actual shot it's in, right, where it looks like she's saying that line, it looks like there's like this sort of stone wall with a candle behind her, right, which immediately makes me think maybe it's historical, right? But I mean, looking at like Spyfall Part 2, like, it may not be like a full on historical, but who knows. But if it is a historical, I think the only historical after this is going to be episode 8. From what people are saying, it's going to be episode 8 with the Cybermen and Mary Shelley and stuff like that. So like, that would work, right, if it is like that episode, because obviously the Cybermen, you know, you know, like, if she's gonna do a speech about her being powerless, it would have to be against Cybermen, you know. So that definitely would be interesting. Actually, I just got a theory for like the black smoke guy. Maybe it's like a quantum shade. I don't know, but yeah. So that was definitely a thing. So I'm assuming it's gonna be that episode, or there could be any episode really. Um, but it would make sense for it to be that episode. There's another shot, right? And it's of Ryan and Yaz in the TARDIS talking. And it's like Ryan, he's just got a t-shirt on, which I don't know why it looked really weird. I think he's always had a jacket on in his entire, like, period on the show. He's always had a jacket on, so that I don't know why that caught my eye. And he says to Yaz, when do you think, like, how long do you think we're gonna stay here? I can't exactly pinpoint what he says after that. Like, I think the gist of it is like until we for like the rest of our lives or something, so like until they die or something, or until they get old. And because it's just Yaz and Ryan, right, a part of me is like, is Graham dead? You know, because like it looks like, cause it's just Ryan and Yaz, and to be honest, I don't think Graham, like, I think Graham shows up like once or twice in like this whole like trailer. Like, I think that yeah, in that little shot where I said it's like the interior of Shada or whatever, he shows up in like the very background of that shot, and then I don't think he ever shows up again. I mean, it is a very Doctor centric trailer. Like, Doctor shows up quite a lot in it, but for a lot of it, it's very much just like Ryan and Yaz as the companions. Like, you don't see much of Graham, so a part of me is like, Graham, either they're just not showing Graham, or like Graham's gonna be like dead by a certain episode, and like I'm not sure which one. Maybe like episode 7, or maybe he'll die with like the Cybermen, and like some of those shots are from the finale. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's definitely some interesting stuff going on there. So as for another shot, speaking of the Cybermen, of course we saw a couple little glimpses of the Cybermen. They're really keeping the Cybermen a bit of a secret, but we saw a few glimpses of the Cybermen here and there, mostly in sort of like dim lighting, and it was kind of just like the Cybermen, pretty much all the lighting in those shots are like from the Cybermen's little, like chest Iron Man, like arc reactor thing. But very nice looking shots, I must say. Like, this is a very pretty trailer, like even prettier than like both trailers that came before them, and like those trailers looked gorgeous. So that's saying something about this series. It's a very pretty series. But yeah, those shots of the Cybermen, not really saying much, except that we're gonna see at least like the Moffat era Cyberman design with sort of the Iron Man arc reactor and stuff like that. Maybe there'll be some modifications here and there, like maybe over the course of the episode, like they change designs or something. Especially because like it seems like it's just gonna be a one episode with the Cybermen. It's not gonna be the finale two-parter from what it's looking like. So that's something to make note of. But yeah, so if it is one episode, I'm kind of worried. I don't know why. One episode Cyberman stories aren't particularly, you know, the best, because I feel like every Cyberman story besides like Closing Time and Nightmare in Silver have been like those were the only like single episode Cyberman stories, and those aren't necessarily the best received ones, you know. And besides, like, I guess Good Man Goes to War, but they were more or less like a cameo, like they were pretty much only in the cold open in that one. So I don't know. And it's not to say like a two-parter would immediately make it like a good Cyberman story or anything. Actually, no, that's a lie. That we're in what was it called? The Christmas special after Series 4. I'm a bad fan because I can't remember the name. The Next Doctor. There we go. They were in that one, and I guess that was a special, so it was a little bit longer and stuff like that. So it wasn't really like tied down by being in like a series where you had to kind of like continue a story. Especially it was like right between Series 4 and like the start of that whole "he will not knock 4 times" gimmick, right? It was like right in the middle of that, so it really couldn't do anything with that besides like I guess teasing the regeneration a little bit. Oh man, those were good times, man. Anyways, how long have I been going for? About 15 minutes. But yes, I'm interested in the Cyberman story. We haven't seen much of it, and presumably it's gonna be the Mary Shelley episode, because there was a shot. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. It's a shot again, by the way, props to, the writing team and whoever is doing it, the costume designer. They're actually having Ryan and Yaz wear period clothing again, so beautiful. They're like in this, like, it looks like a Victorian era sort of like mansion looking place, and like Ryan is in like this like very Victorian era looking like costume. Yaz is in like this, it looks like it's a dress, and there's a third person in the shot. It's just, I mean, to me it looks like just some generic white person. I don't know the actress. But according to some people, it's what was her name, like Lily something, I can't remember her last name, but supposedly she's like she was rumored long before to be playing Mary Shelley. So if she is Mary Shelley, then I presume this will probably be the Sandman episode, especially because it looks very blue. Like, the shots of that particular episode looks very blue to me, so I don't know why, but it does, so who knows. Maybe without, like, if you look at any of the trailers, like, it'll just be blue, but yeah, so that's interesting. So I kind of guess maybe that's a little bit more like confirmation about that. Besides that, there are a few shots. Like, let me just get on a quick shot. There's this shot, right? There's this shot of, let me see if I can find it here. Somebody. It looks like a female character. I can't immediately say who it is. I don't know, skin tone kind of sort of maybe it's either a white person or yes. I really can't tell. The lighting and sort of the effects kind of make it a bit less whatever. But there's a shot and it looks like their skin is like turning into bone or stone or something along those lines. I have no clue where that's even remotely from. Like, like, I have no idea what that could be for. Like, immediately my idea was like, Stenza are coming back, right? Because the Two-Face, but like, I don't know. Like, it looks like their skin is like either turning to bone or stone. And like, I don't know what episode that would be from. Like, I can't tell if it's like Jadoon, or if it would be like the Cyberman episode, or if it's gonna be Praxeus, because Praxeus is very like besides the evil birds, right, which we actually saw a little bit more about. I'll talk about that in a second. Besides like the evil birds, like we don't really know anything about Praxeus. Like, it's like, oh, the TARDIS team is split up across the world, and like they're trying to figure out this mystery, and obviously it's gonna be connected because obviously, and the name Praxeus is like, people were saying maybe it's a Time Lord name. I'm not gonna, like, it's kind of like the teleportation cube from Orphan 55 is like, everybody's like, oh, it's a hypercube, the doctors received some kind of Time Lord messages. Like, obviously that's not the case. So like, I'm not immediately gonna be like, hey, this is Time Lord stuff, this is gonna be lore stuff. It could just be anything, really. So yeah, so maybe this is from Praxeus, because we don't really know much about that episode, and it kind of just feels like it's gonna be like one of those episodes that it's like, yeah, it's just gonna be whatever. It's just gonna be whatever is going on. So I don't know where that shot's from. But yeah, we talking about Praxeus. There's a couple shots here, and I can only presume they're from Praxeus. There's the shot, we saw it in the release date trailer of 13. She's like in this lighthouse. She's at the top of this lighthouse tower, and like looking around her is like this dried up sea. That's like what it looks like. And for some, like, I thought it was gonna be like Praxeus was gonna be the episode about like climate change and environmental message stuff, but apparently that was in Orphan 55. Unless they could do 2 episodes about that, which would be wild, but that was in Orphan 55. So like, looking at this shot now with like that context, this new context, I really don't know what this is about. Like, I can only assume it's from Praxeus. I can't see what the color of her shirt is, because we know from like promo images and stuff, her shirt, and especially because last night's episode she had the maroon shirt, and like, obviously we know what shots those were from. So if she has a maroon shirt, or like a red, burgundy, whatever the color is, like, if she has that shirt, it's most likely going to be from Praxeus. And I can't tell what shirt she has, because like the way the camera moves, they don't really show the front of her, only the back, and like her coat covers up the color of her shirt. So I can't tell if it's from Praxeus or not. And there's another shot which is definitely from Praxeus. It's of like this swirling thing up in the air, and mostly it looks like a bunch of birds. So it's most likely from that episode as well. Um, so I would guess, I don't know, that's probably the most interesting episode. It's kind of like the It Takes You Away, where you don't really know. It's like even in Takes You Away, you had like a little bit. It's like, oh, it's set in like Norway during the winter. There's this house, supposedly there's this monster that's gonna try and attack the house, and then it's like, okay, but then the next time trailer was showing like weird portals and like this red balloon with like a giant moth flying towards it. So it was like, okay, I have no clue what this episode is about. So that's kind of what the Praxeus is giving me. It was like, I have no clue where this could even go. So yeah, there's another shot of like 13. She looks like, there's a few shots of 13. It's very like, it looks like it's set on Earth, you know, like sort of like in a field meadow. Like it looks like very like there's this one shot, right? If you look in the background, this looks like a gravestone. So I'm assuming maybe she's like in some kind of like wow, I forgot the name, cemetery for a bit. So I don't know. The color of her shirt is black though, from what I can tell. So it's not Praxeus. Maybe it's like episode 7, or maybe the siren. I don't know, man. Then there's another shot of Graham. I think the only shot of Graham. It may not even be Graham. It could just be some like old white guy that I can't tell the name. But it looks like Graham, and it looks like Yaz is like running in front of him. They seem to be on this kind of like the spaceship. For some reason, I got Terminus vibes from it. I would assume maybe it's like from the supposedly the shot episode of that episode. It kind of looks like that. Besides that, just knowing what we know about sort of the series, there's the that one shot in the first trailer, and I think they reused it in the release day trailer, of like those gas mask guys with like those those cool looking guns shooting that like yellow energy. So I have no clue what that's from. Actually, I've just spotted something new here. There's a shot from Fugitive of the Judoon. Because there's a June right there, and there's this female character. Now I don't think they've said who this is, but she kind of looks a bit cool. She looks cool, you know. She got like this weird headpiece on, and like her jacket and stuff. It all looks cool. Looks like it's gonna be in the Judoon ship, right? I don't know who she is. Like, I could say maybe she's like that lady from like the Shadow Proclamation. Like maybe she's like in the same role as that, or like I don't know, cause like she's not a Judoon. Obviously, she's not a Rhino. So like I wonder who she is. Like maybe she's the one who sent the Judoon down here to do whatever she's doing. Maybe she's like the fugitive. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be from another episode, but it looks like the Judoon episode, because there's a Judoon in the shot. So, I don't know who she is. I don't think they mentioned her in the gas cast, and if she is the gas cast, I can't really tell. But yeah, I think that's it really. I mean, there's the last shot of 13 in her like black shirt. She's got, I think that's Ryan behind her and some guy. I don't know who that is. And because she has her black shirt on, I'm assuming that's not from Praxeus, so it's either episode 7, 8, 9, or 10. So I don't know, but yeah, that's like the last shot of the trailer. I really don't know. It's in the same setting as like some of those episodes, where it's like she's in like this green area. So I don't know, but yeah, very interesting trailer. I like this trailer. Definitely has potential. Yeah, definitely shows potential for the rest of the series. I'm doing hopefully gonna do a mid-series sort of review video after Fugitive comes out, just sort of to talk about what I thought of this series. So far it's been kind of, it's not mixed, but it's definitely been pretty, like, I mean, it's definitely better than the Series 11. I'll give it that. It's definitely miles better from Series 11. Not sure how much better, but yeah, it really just depends on the rest of the series. But so far it's kind of going a little bit good. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on this trailer? What do you think is gonna happen in this in the rest of the series. How do you think the trailer will lay to anything like that? And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Trill on, bye bye.